So many sugar shacks that I have to actually find them by looking.
There's more than one?
Yeah, about a page full of sugar shacks.
That's all right.
Yes. A very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio. Whoops. Might turn on that. Turn on the amplifier, might be helpful. And our second attempt at saying good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, Patricia and David, with the amplifier now on. The only people who have heard the first greeting would have been those on streaming. It has been another dry day here in the Gulf Harbour area, and I presume up north as well. We've got a bit of wind has been around all day, 12 to 15, a little bit more earlier on from the north still, so it's quite warm, 20 degrees. So although it's daylight saving, it's 6:15 at night time, so that's pretty good. But the barometer is dropping, 1015.7, so we know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's about 80% cloud cover. And unfortunately, Images In are going to arrive in Auckland tomorrow, so probably will have a bit of a damp arrival. They'll be there, well, they've got probably, looking at it, probably about 7 o'clock tomorrow night. But don't worry, if you come into New Zealand latish on a Saturday night, our customs do work on Sundays, but you just have to wait for them to arrive in the morning. Currently, they've got 14 knots of northeast wind, according to what I'm looking at, 3351 and 17411, and they're heading to Auckland. Haven't had too many people arrive in Auckland, doing 6.7 on a course of 154, and they'll have plenty of wind to arrive tomorrow. It'll be not sporty, but certainly plenty of wind. They had it pretty slow yesterday and, overnight until about lunchtime today, based on their email. Okay, well, we've got a few boats to check in, so let's get on with it. I'll see if I can find Gillian, but I don't think I have. Well, I haven't heard them so far, but they did want to check in, so we'll try them again. Gillian, Douglas, are you on frequency? They are on their way to Australia. They've got about 9 knots of easterly at the moment, so I suspect the 6.4 knots that they're doing might be with the motor on a course of 265. They're at 1725 south and 16232 east. Okay, let's go to one of the rather large number, 50-odd boats heading down. Well, in one cluster anyway, there's more. Customs, I hope, have got plenty of people in Opua. They usually do send them up, and they don't mind being up there, have a bit of a break from Auckland. But Indian summer, Gulf Harbour.
This is Indian summer, over.
Yeah, good evening, Ian. Go ahead. Good signal from you.
That's good. Our position is 20 degrees, 45 minutes down, 167 degrees, 40 minutes east. Over.
Yes, and that must have been, we must have had the satellite go by rather recently. I have Indian summer, 2045 south and 16740 east. Carry on.
Where our course is... Sorry, I've lost the course. Our course is 204 and 2, and we are doing 6 knots. The second stage is calm, relatively calm. The wind I'm estimating is about 10 to 12 knots. Over.
From what direction?
The wind is from the east. Over.
Oh, we'll have to get Marion back to sort out the course for you. 204 true, 6 knots. relatively calm seas, so quite a pleasant sail at the moment, 10 to 12 knots from the east.
Northeast tomorrow.
And David says northeast tomorrow, so that will, what sort of strength are we talking about?
Oh, about the same.
About the same, 12 knots tomorrow, so that will be pleasant as well. Over?
Sounds great. We have 145 miles to go. Over.
Well, you'll be another one that will be arriving, and unfortunately it won't be a very pleasant weekend here with the rain, but we promise that summer will improve, and it's meant to be a nice hot summer, so you will enjoy it. Over.
Thank you.
All right, it is actually, the water temperature is meant to be up, and it is La Nina, so we will be getting a few, the north to east quadrant winds, and that's always nice and warm. So it'll be a lovely summer for exploring New Zealand. And by the way, it reminds me to tell you, folk, that on our website, if you look under Flotsam, I've put our sort of preferred anchorages up and down the coast, and also Great Barrier Island. So if you want to have a look at where we like, because we go away for 3 or 4 months every summer, that would be a good place to start, and there are some good books that you can get as well. Okay, we'll clear with Indian Summer and see where Sugar Shack is ahead of them. Sugar Shack, Gulf Harbour. I always get you very well, Christine. Go ahead.
Doing great. Absolutely beautiful sunny day and blue skies, which is been the first to us, so it's a really pretty day today.
Yeah, you must have our share of the sunshine. We know that the front is getting closer to us, but I don't really mind because we've had a beautiful dry week. Go ahead.
Okay, our position is 24 degrees, 20 south, 176 degrees, 22 minutes east, on a course of 1802, a boat speed of 9.1, swell is 1.5 to 2 meters out of the east, wind is 17 knots out of the east, cloud coverage is about 10%, and we have 694 distance to go. Over.
Okay, you have 694 to go at 24. I'm just looking at my what I got from Indian Summer. It's very. Oh, I know why that is. Okay. All right. 17622 east. 180 true, 9.1 knots. Boy, you are rocking along. You really want to get in before that weather, don't you? 1.5 to 2 meters swell, 17 knots from the east, and 694 to go. So I'll just hand over the microphone. He's shaking his head. Hang on. No?
No, I'm not shaking my head. Yeah, you'll have about the same tomorrow, actually, as you have seen with your grids. I assume you're getting your grids from somewhere. The wind is going to be just about out of the east again tomorrow, and we're looking at about 15 knots. A little bit further to the east, if you were there, a little bit stronger. Those bands of stronger wind and bands of lighter wind, you happen to be in the lighter version of what I see, which is good. And yeah, your ETA, I forgot what you said your ETA was.
ETA is.
Hang on here. I know we wrote it down. Maybe you can tell me your ETA. Over.
Thursday, Friday.
Perhaps 3.5 days, maybe 4, if we get into a light weather window, but we're somewhere between 3.5 to 4 days. Over.
28, 29, 30, 31. I shall be in before the weather.
Well, I assume by 4 days you're talking about Thursday. Is that correct? Over.
No.
No, we're looking at Tuesday, possibly Wednesday, but preferably Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Okay. Tuesday. Very fine. All right. I'm looking at where this frontal band is going to be at that time. Hang on 1 minute. Let me get it back. As my computer is having a little bit of a hiccup here. Oh, no, now it's back working. Well, yes, you'll be fine. If you get in on Tuesday, the frontal band is to your west in the Tasman, heading toward New Zealand, but you're going to have some pretty light air on Tuesday, actually, getting into New Zealand. There's some air that is along the coast, but a little bit further out, and east and north, there's hardly any wind at all. So you may have to fire up those engines to get in at that time. Over.
Yeah, we will definitely run the engines in order to get in. The only thing I'm concerned about is we did all the paperwork from getting into Sector A, and then we'll maybe need to go into Okua, which will make a game-day decision.
Yeah, well, we'll see in a day or so here how things are going. The frontal band is looking like it's going to be pretty much at North Cape, and yeah, I would say probably Wednesday time frame. The Wednesday time frame, probably mid-morning. Now the models, I'm looking at about 5 models, and only 2 of them are in agreement on the timing on this. But they all agree that a frontal band is coming, and in this front there's about 30, 35 knots. But it's quite a narrow band, which is good. It's not one of those very, very wide ones that we occasionally get. But there is wind, and like I say, it's probably going to be brief. But sounds like you will be in before that. Over.
Thank you. That's very good news, David. Thank you so very much. And obviously, we'll keep an eye on it and keep checking in over the next few days to see where we end up.
Yeah, it is quite a short one, so but it would be nice to avoid it, so that would be good. It's always nice to arrive pleasantly. All right then, well, we'll talk again tomorrow with Sugar Shack, and I was just distracted because I was looking at Indian Summer and where they were going to cross through the loyalties, and it looks like they're going to be at the bottom of Lifu to go into the Havana Pass. So nothing to upset them there. Looks all pretty pleasant for the next 24 hours anyway. Okay. There is some clouds, isn't there? Yes. What action? Convection. Oh, okay. All right.
Some drizzle.
Some drizzle maybe, but I'm sure they won't worry too much about that as long as the visibility is all right going through the pass. And do watch when you go through the Havana Pass for these confounded, very high-speed ferries that are heading to the loyalties. Okay, let's go to El Risha. El Risha, Gulf Harbour.
Good morning, this is El Risha. Copy.
Oh, very good copy, Ferry. Go ahead.
All right, and good evening. Our current position is 4 degrees 2 meters south and 176 degrees. Oh, sorry, I'm reading the wrong stuff. It's 22 degrees 53 south and 176 degrees 26. Sorry. Hello?
Okay, you've got me confused now, but I think it is 22 degrees 53 south and 176 degrees 26 east. Carry on.
Okay, that's it. Sorry for reading wrong paper. And is 188 degrees through. Oak speed is currently 7 knots. And distance to Ottawa is 754 nautical miles. Wind condition at the moment is the wind 18 knots and smell 1.5 meters, also from east. Over.
Okay, and David says about the same tomorrow. So at almost 23 degrees, we have 188 true course, 7 knots, good going. Easterly 18 and 1.5 metre swell from the east. This is a really good passage, isn't it? And 754 miles to go. So you will need to be, we'll be checking in with you on a daily basis so we can update you on that frontal system as the time goes by. You would have heard David talking to Sugar Shack. Is all well on board? Over.
Yeah, thanks. That sounds very good. We're just wondering what is happening to the northern winds around the third and fourth. Is increasing or decreasing or delaying or coming earlier? That is very important information for us. Over.
Well, on the 3rd, which is Thursday, that is just about the time that I'm afraid the cold front's going to strike New Zealand. And it's going to, if you draw a line between, say, North Cape and New Caledonia, that's about the axis of the front itself. Strongest near New Zealand, as you would expect, and lighter as you're near New Caledonia. So the winds are going to be pretty much out of the north, and depending upon what your latitude is, they can be up to 30, 35 knots. Over.
That is something we can be with, probably. Okay, so thank you for all this information. Risha is ready, all is well. Thank you, clear.
All right, and some better news regarding that. It does move fairly quickly. So once it goes through New Zealand and heads off to the east, things will lighten up a little bit. The winds are not going to be in a good direction, but they'll be fairly light. You could expect southwest, almost southerly winds. Might even get southeast. Just depends on it just depends, let's put it that way. But it's too far away. It's over a week, and the models are just not going to be accurate that far out. But as the days roll on, we'll be in contact with you, and we'll let you know what the situation looks like as you get closer. Over.
Copy that. Thank you very
much. Okay, well, clear with Risha. Yes, it's nothing like what the folk had to deal with going to Australia last week. That was a real doozy. Okay, is there anybody else wanting to call in, coming to New Zealand or Australia? Please call now. I shouldn't really keep it to New Zealand and Australia because there could be people going from one island group to another, but I'm sure you would have piped up if that had been the case. All right, let's see if we can find our vessel in the northern hemisphere, Cheyenne, Gulf Harbour. Yeah, I've got a pretty good copy on you, Jim, so go ahead with your complete report. Over.
Roger that. At the present moment, Cheyenne position is 01 degrees, 4 minutes north, 164 degrees, 37 minutes east. And that is on a course underground of about 310 degrees magnetic. And the speed is now 7.0 knots. The wind is southeast around 1-3, and the flow is from the southeast at about 1/2 meter. And clouds are about 10%. And scattered about. Very pleasant today, and I have 495 nautical miles to go. I'll copy all that.
Oh, good copy, yeah. It's, you're doing really well, aren't you? 01, probably seems longer to you, but it seems quite fast to us. 0154 north and 16437 east on a course of 310 magnetic at 7 knots. Easterly 13 and a southeast swell of 0.5 meter. Only 10% scattered cloud. And, well, you're under the 500 mark. 495 to go to Ponape. So, all looking good, Jim, and no problems with the boat or anything, over?
I'm sorry, was that a question? Can you repeat that, over?
Is all well with you and the boat, over?
I'm afraid I just can't pull it out of the noise. I have a lot of static tonight. Can you tell me one more time?
Yeah, all well on board. Is all well on board, over?
All is well on board. Gentle, pleasant sailing. I'm expecting another day or two of this. It may go like right as I arrive in Ponte, get a little more unstable, but I'm just trying to find where days of good sailing, and all is well. Thank you for the check-in.
Roger, all copied. Yeah, we have a lot of static here. A lot of static, probably the frontal system coming. Okay, clear with Jim on Cheyenne. And one last call for anybody else.
Rhapsody.
Oh my goodness gracious me, here's Rhapsody. A very good evening to you and a good copy too. Go ahead, over.
Fine, I did it for tonight, but now I can't tell you. Nice to talk to you, Patricia. And yeah, we are well here on board the Rhapsody.
Well, go ahead with your position, course, and the weather conditions. Over.
I will. Okay, position is 23 degrees 16 south, 175 degrees 19 east, and of course, upper ground is 198.2, and our speed is 7 knots, and the wind is 14 knots, 1-4. From the east, the space will be doing very good. Could be a 12 or something, so it's good. About 755 miles to go to Monterey.
And David has just said about the same tomorrow. Everything is pretty stable at the moment at that part of the world, which for that Rhapsody is 2316 south, 17519 east, on a course of 198 true at 7 knots, and the 14 knots of easterly, seas 2 meters, and 755 miles to Whangarei.
Boring weather.
Boring weather, says David. He likes it a little bit more stimulating. But frankly, from your perspective, it's perfect weather. Back to you, over.
Yeah, it's been a great weather. Your brothers, you were talking to Alicia about the film opportunity. Well, I was wondering, do we need to go a little more west or stay on the course and go south?
Well, it's a very brief front. If I could sort of, I don't know whether you say brief, but it moves through quickly. So David is just chuckling because with my talking, I've moved his computer to the New Caledonia area. It's quite funny actually what happens. I'm going to put the microphone to him.
Yeah, it's amazing what RF does in this place. Well, listen, as the front gets closer to New Zealand, I think you heard me say that if you drew the line of its axis when it finally gets here, it's from North Cape in New Zealand to New Caledonia. And so all the winds that are pouring into it north of that axis are going to be northerlies. So really, as far as we are concerned, if we were out there, we just continue to head for New Zealand. I don't think there's going to be any real advantage in going west or east. You may get a little bit of westing in because behind the front, if you do pass the front, you have not arrived in New Zealand yet, then the wind is going to shift very quickly to the southwest, west maybe. So a little bit of westing might be of some advantage to you. But right now it's so far away that I really can't tell. We usually like to have boats a little bit, we just draw a straight line of longitude from, say, Cape Reinga or North Cape, top of New Zealand, a little bit west of that line, is typically what a lot of people do when they're heading to New Zealand. And that takes into account that wind shift after a frontal passage. Over.
Yes, I copy, yes. Okay, thank you for so far, and what can I copy you to tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'm not sure why you couldn't get us before because your signal is really good. But anyway, you're coming through very well now. Okay, is there anybody else for Gulf Harbour?
Elaine.
I've got somebody there and I'm not too sure of the name. You may, it sounded like, but go ahead. Again, over. Yeah, we're not too certain. You might have to, you're quite light. If you could spell out your boat name and then go ahead. Over. Elaine, I think it's Elaine or something like that, and I might need some help from somebody, but could you go ahead again, please?
Sailing vessel Elaine.
Elaine, Gulf Harbour Radio, go ahead. I have clear copy on you.
Very poor copy. I have control. Sailing vessel Elaine. 2 persons on board. Position 17 degrees. 8 minutes. Now 1 degrees. 2 8 minutes. Destination Thunderbird. 4 2 5 degrees. Magnetic. Our speed 5.5 knots. That's okay. The wind is 5 knots out of the southeast with calm seas, light swell, 725 nautical miles. The Bundaberg and all is well on board.
Roger, all copied. Elaine is at 1728 south, 17228 east, heading to Bundaberg, course 255 magnetic, 5.5 knots, light winds 5 knots southeast with calm seas, and 725 miles to go to Bundaberg, 2 POB. 2 persons. I'll just pass the microphone, but I think there's nothing troubling you. Hang on a minute.
Now you've got quite a ways to go, I guess. It looks like tomorrow the winds are going to be out of the northeast, fairly light, maybe 10 knots, that type of thing. And there is a trough that is running from pretty much the center of Vanuatu toward Fiji. And I see the tip of it is about Kindavu in Fiji. So you look like you're going to be in that trough for a little bit of time. Did you give your cloud cover? I'm not sure I heard that. Cloud cover?
Very poor copy, but thank you very much for receiving the report.
Roger. How about cloud cover? Have you got cloud cover for us? Over.
Mostly clear skies, air weather.
Thank you. Got that, and we'll talk tomorrow. Hopefully conditions are better, but check you have not got anything on like an LED light or a charging unit. They are often a problem with receive. So we'll talk to you tomorrow. We will clear with Elaine, and I haven't got you on AIS, so I presume that you do not have AIS, but we'll take your position tomorrow. Okay, is there anybody else, and did anybody copy that boat well? Oh, hello, Andrew. Did you copy Elaine okay? Got that, and I missed the spelling because I was over the other side. So, India, Lima, Lima, Echo, November, Echo. Is that correct, over?
Negative. Echo.
Hi, Candy, I have lost you. Can you go ahead with the spelling of that boat name, please?
Echo. India. Lima. Lima. November.
Okay, I put it together with the Douglas, Ghislaine. Boy, it's no wonder they have it called in. I've been saying Gillian or Gillian. Ghislaine. All right, we've got Ghislaine. Thank you very much. And it's Douglas. And yes, we do have him and his details. So, and they are joining you or hoping to join you in the mud at Bundaberg. Are you still there, Andrew? Over? Oh, that's good. Is there a bit more depth, over?
Yeah, we're in 10 meters now. 10 meters. We've got Ankara behind us, all comprehended, and yeah, it's very pleasant here, over.
Oh, sounds much better than further down, so that's good. All right, well, I thought Ankara might have been taking off fairly soon, but they must be enjoying the sights and sounds of Bundaberg. It must be that ginger beer or something keeping them there and the good company. All right, well, thank you for that. So we now have Ghislaine and know how to pronounce it. Apologies, Douglas, apologies. We will try again tomorrow. Okay, anything else, Andrew? Yeah, boy, conditions today have been pretty grim, particularly on 20 metres, but yeah, it seems to be improving. It's probably about right timing for distance to Australia. Well, thanks for the help with Ghislaine, and have a good night, you guys. Hi to Claire. All right, well, I think that's it. Is there anybody else? Nothing heard. Alrighty, we will be back again tomorrow night, same time, same place, and have a very good evening. Looks like pretty pleasant conditions out there for those at sea, so that's very pleasant. Okay, cheers everybody. We are clear.